All right. Well, looks like we're live. I'm still trying to see how Twitch is doing because I should be streaming on Twitch as well. And yeah, looks like we're here. Okay, well, welcome. Yeah, as you can see, we're going to be talking about what's happening here on Bitcoin. We're going to be doing some daily analysis. I will give you a little bit of insight of how I look at the markets, and I would also like to help you understand how to perform your own TA, your technical analysis, so you can also start, trying to make some money on day trading Bitcoin. Now, I used to post my technical analysis online on the Facebook group, but yeah, considering often I had to write half a novel to bring over my ideas, I decided to put it in the form of a stream. So right now, I'm only streaming on Twitch and on Facebook, but I will be adding a YouTube channel where I will be streaming, but YouTube being YouTube, of course. It's always the same. I have to wait to get approved and stuff. So in the meanwhile, I hope you guys enjoy this. So let's just begin with the beginning. First thing we see is that my past analysis kind of sort of turned out, but what happened is, of course, it was a weekend. So let me just change these things here, and then I can maybe show you where we came from and what has happened. So what did I say? I said we were forming something like this, kind of, sorta, and this. So it was shaping up like a wedge, and as you can see, wedges, especially the horizontal wedges, they have the tendency, they can break out to the upside or to the downside as well. So what did I say? I expected much more likely for it to be to go up for a bit, start to form more of a divergence between this point, and we can see this point. Couldn't really say how high it would go, but I was pretty sure that if we would form a divergence, it had to go above this area here. Then what happened? Of course, market started to go down. Did I mention about how high this move was going to be? No, because it's impossible to predict this. But on the other hand, what did I also say? I said it's also possible that we would be moving down first, and that would initiate a much stronger move to the upside, because as we move down, we have this area, and this one here to be forming very strong bullish divergences on. So that would have terminated in a very strong move to the upside. Now, what happened? It moved a little bit up, but basically it was more of a sideways move because, of course, it's weekend. Weekends are unpredictable. They have lower volume, less people with big pockets. Institutions and professional traders are not trading the weekends. So it kind of sort of went more on a sideways, but still a little bit more up than it went just horizontal. So now, what did we see after this started to form? We had a positive slope. Let me do this here. Let's make it a little bit nice. There we go. Looks good enough. Okay, so what happened here is we had a positive slope retesting the upper band here, coming down, retesting the lower band, and positive slopes are a lot easier to break to the downside than they are to break to the upside. You need a lot more volume. It is possible. It is very possible, but you need a lot more volume for price to move way out of this channel. Of course, you know, it could be trending within this channel for quite some time. So it's a very difficult play if you really want to short the upside, especially if you're going like with a lot of high leverage, then, you know, you might get burned out or liquidated just on the next test up. So these are a little bit more tricky to trade, but if you're a patient trader and if you don't leverage yourself too high, it is very possible to just take every one of these upsides and just add to your position. It's a perfect good strategy. Now, what happened? We broke down. This happened on the past 1 hour candle. This is now the next 1 hour candle. And of course, now we're wondering what is going to happen. So you can see we're on the 1 hour time chart, right? Volume profile here shows a lot of empty space between this area and this area. So that means like there is not a lot of volume being traded, or there has not been a lot of volume being traded in between these areas. So you would expect once it starts to dive down this slope that at least we will be finding some support here. Depending on the momentum, we might even break lower. So is this a bad thing? Actually not. Here on the 1 hour chart, we can already see that we hit like a little bit of resistance, because what's happening, we have these lows, this one, and this one, where we are forming some sort of divergence on. But this is only a 1 hour chart. Okay, so the 1 hour charts don't give a lot of weight on the overall of the bigger move. And you know, there's people trading like short trades, doing high leverage positions, and probably they will be making on this kind of move a lot more money than I would. So that's not the issue here. What I'm doing, I would prefer, that's my trading style, so don't do as I say. It's just to give you a little bit of insight of how I approach these situations. Okay, so on this move right now, since this is only a 1 hour candle, we're gonna have a look at the 2 hour candles and the higher time frames to see what is actually happening. So what can we expect here on the 2 hour candle, which will close in 40 minutes? We can see that these areas of divergence have completely been burned through. This is just continuation. Now the next one is this one here. So basically, if the 2 hour candle closes, that could be really good for price, because this is the low that this low on the RSI is referring to. Or wait, it's this one. I'm sorry. Now this low is also pretty high, and our low on the our RSI is still lower than this one, and this is this area. So you see, those are those two areas of interest that I was talking about. How low will it go? It's like playing the limbo right now. You can't tell. All you could do is just either say, I will be playing it safe, I will be taking my profits here, or damn, I'm leverage way too high and I'm already in good profit, I'm just gonna kick out, it's okay. Or you can be a little more aggressive and just wait for the whole move to happen. Because if we are talking about a really big move, usually it doesn't shoot up all the way in one go. Okay, on the larger scale of those moves, you have often a few retests, a little bit of time to see what the bottom actually is. So this is what I prefer to do. Wait, let's
We're
see.
going to be doing some daily
Facebook
analysis. I will give you a little bit of insight on what the bottom
I just need to recheck
is.
my streams
So
from time
this
to
is
time
what I prefer to do.
You know, don't want to
Wait,
be
let's
talking to nobody.
some
You know,
daily
even though right
analysis.
now
I will
I
give you a
have
little bit of insight
only
on
one
what the
viewer.
bottom actually is.
Hello,
So this is
viewer.
what
I hope you're
prefer to
enjoying
do.
this. Don't want to. And now we have 0 viewers on Facebook. It's okay, you know, it's my first stream. I will be doing these streams daily, so I really hope we're gonna start growing a little bit more of a community and start getting some more feedback, some more communication. My intention is really just to help give some more insight on what I'm doing, and I hope you guys will give me some feedback as well, because it's always possible to learn from each other, and this is what an internet community should all be about. Okay, don't keep secrets to yourself. Try to find nice and interesting people so you can grow stuff together. Okay, now back into the market. Now, where was I? Now, on the 2-hour chart, we see that I drew a trend line that used to be resistance. It's been tested here, here, and here a few times. We broke through, and of course, coming down, we touched this one as well. Now, is this going to be a strong trend line, a strong support line? Quite frankly, I'm not really sure, because it just goes through like a whole lot of critical areas. You know, like if we draw it further on, we had price just shoot above and break. It's more a little bit like a medium line sitting in the middle of big moves. As you can see, we can extend this like pretty far, and it kept price kept like working its way around it. So why did I draw this line? Just because you know, I found it remarkable, and I thought it was something to at least take note of. We could just bounce off it and keep going to the moon. You know, it's everything is possible. This is cryptocurrencies, this is Bitcoin, and you know, everything is possible. Now, where was I? Okay. So, looking at how the situation is progressing, because as time moves, you need to adapt your plan. There is no one analysis that is going to help you through the rest of the period. You know, we are respecting a trend. Sometimes we break out of the trend because trends don't last forever. And then we need to adapt our plan. Now, what can we see looking at this high and this high and these two lows? Guess what? this is starting to look like a negative slope. It's not negative, that's actually a really good sign, because negative slopes allow RSI to cool down, they allow the stochastics to cool down, and they have a higher probability, they are much easier to break out to the upside, because even trending sideways, it will start, the price will start to move out and find support somewhere in the area above it, and then it has all the momentum it needs to shoot up again. So what are we to expect? Basically, I think we are going to keep ranging for a little bit longer until all of a sudden we manage to break above this node of volume. Once we are breaking above it, let's zoom out a little bit. Wow. We have another area with less volume, but still quite some volume. So I'm expecting the moves to be rather slow and sluggish if we break up to the upside. And we should be finding some resistance right around this area here, where you can see that again there is a big node of volume coming in. So this will be another key area to keep your eyes on. Now, on the divergences part, let's move up to the 3-hour chart, because this is how we do it. You know, we go over the entire range of the lower time frames, the higher time frames, we compare, and this will help us to get a bigger picture, a bird's eye view, if you will, of how the obstacles on the road are situated. And this is where you will want to think about how you want to set up your trades, because we don't trade spot. I don't trade spot. I trade derivatives, which is leverage positions. And the difference here is that I don't need to own both assets in order to be flexible on whether I want to buy or whether I see a sell opportunity. You know, we have our portfolio, and the options that we take can be either short or long. It doesn't matter as long as there's some money or cryptocurrency in your portfolio. You can go either way. So that's the advantage I find in trading leverage positions. I don't do high leverage. Actually a little bit of a chicken, because, you know, my trading style, I never ever catch the high peaks, and I never catch the really low lows. I can start spotting them. I can start seeing how they get retested and get some more certainty on the strength of the support or the resistance. But of course, you know, we can still move a little bit up, and if you're leveraged too high, it's really hard to take that loss, and sometimes you just get liquidated before your move starts to go back in profit. I see a lot of traders making this mistake, especially in the beginning. I was one of them. What happens is you see the high leverage possibility of making a lot of money, and you'd be like, yeah, okay, I can take a little bit of loss, it's okay. But the problem is that your position gets liquidated and then price just goes. So you made your loss, and on top of that, you're out of the position. If you want to get back in, probably you're going to be just a little too late. It's going to start moving the other way around, and bam, you get liquidated again, and you get loss over loss over loss. So be careful, especially trading leverage positions. It's a very risky situation. It's a very risky game. There are other ways of setting up for high leverage trading positions, but this is not what I like to do. Of course, if you have ideas, suggestions, don't worry. You can always add your ideas in the comment section. It's really cool. I want to have this open communication, this back and forth of trading ideas, because this is what will make the community and the channel that I'm growing get better and get bigger. I'm not the best trader. I'm not a financial advisor. Also, really don't think that I am going to give you the targets, the price ranges, and promise that if you do this, you're going to make money. No, this is up to you. You need to learn in your way how you see the charts and what you see in the charts. And this is how you will be able to set up your own positions and develop your own trading style. You know, my time schedules are not your time schedules. My time zone is not your time zone. So already starting with this, we are different people. So just try to follow how I go over my analysis, how I do my daily routines, and hopefully something will rub off on you that you can help, that can help you. And you know, hopefully I will get some feedback from you guys, and that will help me. And yeah, okay, so all that being said and done, look, right now we see that we are starting to form this downward slope. What I'm actually hoping for is to close the price either above this zone or maybe in this range here, like in between here and especially above this node. Now, if we were really to go down here, this is not going to be an easy drop. It's not going to go like straight down and back up. Here, the empty space, yeah, we still have a lot of motion, range of motion, where price can have some volatility and move really fast. But once we start dropping below all this, it's not gonna go that fast anymore because of all this volume here. So things to keep an eye on is, first, are we going to drop below this let's say 11,100, 11,050-ish mark, depending on your trading platform, because all trading platforms have a little bit of a price difference. There is a spread between them. It's not always exactly the same, so keep that in mind. And you know, once we go under this piece here, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be stuck here for a little while before we get the big move to the upside again. Because on the larger scale, again, let's zoom out. Basically, we are still in an uptrend. If we look at the lows, we've got a low here, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and if we close above this area here, we still have our higher low. Okay, some might say here you have this high and we're in a lower high, but this is premature to call it. It's not a local high until we start forming a new low. Okay, so on these highs here, you see, let's zoom in a little bit. We had lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Here we had low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And what happened? We made a higher high. So as long as we don't break in a downtrend the last low, the lowest low, it's not a downtrend yet. If it's ranging, then I prefer to zoom out to look a little bit more on a bigger picture to see how we are setting up. So compared to this here, we have the $14,000 high from last summer, July 19, 2019. We had our series of lows, and here we start getting out of this trend of lower highs. Basically, actually, we already started here turning the trend around with a little bit of a push above this low. We still made a lower low, but here we started making a higher low compared to this one. So on the macro, it seems a lot better than it was before. Now, what is to happen on the longer term? Let's zoom in a little bit so we can have a look at this. Here, let's take our trend lines, let's make it green. Here, we are following this trend line and basically still respecting it. So worst case scenario, and I know a lot of people are going to think that I'm a doom person. That's not my intention. But on a worst case scenario, we could be going down and retest this area. Maybe not super steep. Maybe it will be going like slowly. Let me draw this out. Maybe it's going to be doing something like this. Book. Then retest, go level by level, and then, you know, maybe here do something like this and then break out. It's possible. On the other hand, it's also possible, because we are in an uptrend, that let me remove this, that we will be taking support on either one of those key areas here, because this has been tested here, here. It's a strong line. On the nodes, which is also fairly possible. Worst case here, that I'm not really hoping for it, but it is a possibility. Worst case, we're going to break down and bounce on some of these lower areas, which would actually start confirming more of a downtrend on the long run. But all this is speculation. We're too early in this game to be even talking about this. But I know a lot of people like to have those, I don't know, mental crystal ball moments. I don't really believe in these, because you know, there's no way to predict things on such a long term. All you can do is look at the possibilities, look at what can happen, and then just try to play it accordingly. Okay? Now, on the shorter term, because that's what we're here for, we're day trading. Forgive me if sometimes I just digress a little bit too much. It's not my intention, but yeah, I like to talk about these things. This is a lot of fun for me, and I enjoy doing this. So yeah, of course, if you don't like it, just type away in the chat and let me know what you think. But okay, so now on the shorter term, 2-hour time frame, we see that we're here in this liquid area. If you took a short, I would suggest just trying to wait for the retest of the lower area and get out of your position and maybe set up a conditional or wait and see how strong the bounce is, or wait for a retest of the upper band. Just go range to range, which is a valid strategy. It works really well. On the other hand, this chunk here, let's call it a chunk, I don't think forming a divergence on this will actually show us a lot. I would prefer to wait for a divergence or RSI dropping down below this area, because that would be a really strong indication of finding a bottom. Okay, usually it's also followed by a retest of that bottom. So it would be doing something like this. It comes under this area, then maybe it goes up and it stops above the area where price will go down, stop above this area, and on the retest, I'm completely messing this up. So yeah, it's because I draw this a little too short. I should have made it larger. Oh no, why like this? Okay, so let's make it short. So we go down. We're still way above this area here. We go up and we make a lower low in respect of these two areas, while this RSI would be making a higher low, which is again a divergence. And then you have the divergence on the lowest low here. You have a retest that confirms the bottom by making a lower low and a higher low on the RSI. I hope this is making sense. So this is a very clear signal that we can start looking to long, because this is strong, and usually these types of formations will also start showing up on the higher time frames, which I find very important, especially for divergences that you can also see them on the higher time frames. So this is the 2-hour chart. Now, looking at the 3-hour chart, basically we can see that the same formation is setting up, and of course we want to know at which level is price going to drop in order to get below this RSI level, because RSI is a strength indicator. It has nothing to do, but like literally nothing to do with the same levels of price. I have no idea how to explain how RSI is being calculated. I'm pretty sure you can Google it. There's going to be like a million of explications that you can find that will make a lot more sense than what I'm going to try to tell you. But it's a strength indicator, and I like to use this indicator here on TradingView. You can find it for free. You go to your indicators and try writing pig between those block brackets, maybe reverse calculator panel, and if you use it, if you enjoy it, you can donate to Pig and Bali or whatever their names are, to support them in their work. This is a very, very useful tool. Especially I like to use it for my trading style. So let's have a little look. How low do we need to go in order to get a divergence here? So the divergence, the RSI level here, which is the blue line. I don't look at the white line. This is a moving average. basically I don't take a lot of interest in here, but of course, you know, it can also show you a little bit whether momentum is on the upside or going down. But I don't use this for my trading style. I just go off of divergences because those are, in my opinion, the bigger moves that I actually want to play off. So this one says 37.85. So we're gonna go look in the settings. We're gonna write 37.85 and let's have a look. So at $11,122, $11,122, we should start forming a divergence. And here, have a look at this. You see this magic TA stuff everybody says that just doesn't work because blah blah blah, it's all indicators and blah. But again, I didn't draw this line before doing this calculation. Okay, I just went off of horizontal levels, and this white line here, which is the top of this little formation, is sitting at 11,116.78. So we could move it a little bit up. Let's see, how do we do this? 22. Oh, well, you know, let's call it 25. And there we go. So breaking this line would initiate a bullish divergence on the 3-hour chart, which is already pretty significant. Let's go further. Let's go on. Let's see what the 4-hour chart has to say. Here we are at an RSI of 43. Let's call it 43. Let's say 43 because we want to aim under it. Okay, so 43. We hit it, and this is 11,111. Okay, so 11,111. So again, this is here in this area. Let's move up to the 6-hour chart because the 6-hour chart is also going to close in 12 minutes. It's a pretty significant one. If we don't manage to close in the next 12 hours in this area, my guess is that for the coming, let's say, at least 4 hours, maybe 6 hours, at worst 12 hours, we are going to stay in this ranging area because we have no strong signals that will push the price in one direction or the other. Now, let's make our little calculation again. It was this area, and let's see, we should be sitting at here. You can see here the blue numbers, that's the RSI. So if I scroll here, we have 45.90. Let's say 45.50, just to be sure. Okay, 45. Well, no, let's stick to the numbers 45.90. Okay, and what does it say? This one even expects us to go a little bit lower, 11,030. So here, as you can see, as price action is moving, the buy and sell pressure is moving around, you can see that these numbers will change a little bit over time. So again, not a magic pill. This is not a way to set up your trades in the morning and then just make money by the evening. Day trading is a real job. You need to reevaluate your situations as you go, and as time passes, all the outcomes, all the possible outcomes that you were thinking about will start to narrow into the solution where you are heading towards. So this will just help you bit by bit, taking away all the other things and start getting your position a lot sharper and a lot better and more into the profitable range. Don't jump onto positions because you saw something now. You'd be like, oh yeah, he said it's gonna go up, I'm gonna go up. Oh, he said it's gonna go down, I'm just gonna trade down. Because no, this is not how it works. Price can still be moving, you know. You need to do your own analysis. Wait for the right time to put your position in, make your analysis, think where is price going to go and where will it go from there. Because where it will go first, this is where you want to set up your position. Where it will go from there, this is what kind of position you want to set up. So if you're looking at a downtrend and you're expecting a continuation of the downtrend, just wait for the confirmation, wait for price to go to the level where you're hoping for the next signal to confirm your idea. And this is where you will set up your trade. Don't do it the other way around, because you will just be chasing your tail like a mad dog or a mad cat. You'll be running in circles, losing all your energy, losing your steam, losing your money, and this is where you quit. If this is how you want to trade, you know, there's people who like it. They just take a coin, they flip it, and they go like, yeah, here, I go long, I go short, doesn't matter. But this is gambling. What we're talking about is actually really analyzing the market and trying to make an estimated guess and limiting the risk so you can maximize the reward. Also, once you entered your trade on a level that you are expecting, you will be so much closer to the point of invalidation, the point where you can see like, oh, if it still goes the other way, at least the range will be short. So you can put your stop losses and minimize your risk. There's always a risk. Nothing is set in stone. And you know, people who are saying like, I only do profitable trades, don't believe them. Also, try not to listen to all those signal channels that tell you like, here you need to get in, here you need to get out, because those are the easiest ways to lose money. I promise you this. Nobody there is responsible for your losses, your gains. All you did was just follow somebody that you don't even know, and you just trust them in their opinion. But of course, once again, if this is what you like to do, if you think that this fits your time schedule a lot better, and you can go through all those different channels and just wait until you find one that makes more good calls than bad calls, then sure, by all means. But this is not what I'm doing here. I'm not spoon feeding you anything. I'm just trying to help you get some more insight in how I try to analyze the situations and how I like to think about how this whole thing is going to play out. And as you can see, like I said in the beginning, first we were forming a wedge. So I was waiting for which way the wedge was going to break out, or which way the price was going to break out of the wedge, to give me a little more insight on what's to come. Once we moved up, I could see that we were actually extending the range of the wedge, because then we had something more like this forming. And I posted this on the Facebook group as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were saying like, oh, you see, you were wrong, you were wrong. No, I was not wrong. There is no right or wrong. In this market, if you try to be right all the time, you will be wrong more often than not, because it will always go a little bit both ways. This is how people make money in this market, and this is also how people lose money in this market, because if there are winners, there are bound to be losers as well. But all that is just another philosophical topic. Now, look, we are 4 minutes away to closing the 6-hour candle and the 12-hour candle, the 3-hour candle, 4-hour candle, the 2-hour candle, 1-hour candle. We're gonna have like a candle closing party right now. Will this play out like a bullish divergence and push the price up? Possible, but with such a long wick, especially with such a long wick to the upside, that means there's still a lot of people buying the price up, pushing the price up. But being such a small divergence and sitting so high in the RSI range, I think it would be very hard not to create another strong bearish divergence with this level here. So let's have a calculation. Let's see what price we would need to reach in order to negate the bearish divergence. So here on a 6-hour candle, we are sitting at 79.30. So let's have a look. 79.30. And what does this tell us? What do you see? In order to negate a bearish divergence with this area, which is really close and local, we would have to go shoot price above $12,020. Now, $12,020 is sitting right here. So this is actually basically really going for the high area here. But, oh, whoops, I'm sorry. But we have a volume node here. We have a volume node here at 11,700. Then, of course, once we shoot above these two, it's fair to say that, well, yeah, no, 12,030 is really here, past all this area of misery and resistance and sluggishness, in order to negate that bearish divergence. So whatever happens, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, we might see some move up. Just like I said before, we might see it. It's possible. But at best, I don't think we're going to break above 11,700. And please don't take this as a reference for setting up your trades. You know, look at the charts for yourself and see if you can do something with this information, if you can integrate this in the way you see what is happening. Okay, now, is it possible that we shoot up? Of course, of course. Let's see, because I'm under the impression that It is possible. It is actually possible that from here on the short-term side we will break out of this formation, completely negate it. Oh, the new candle is popping. It's showing its head. Now, where was I? It is possible. This is here just a median. This is just a middle line, so do not see this as a real support or whatnot. It's just a reference line, because we touched it here, we touched it there, we touched it a little bit of everywhere. Now, here we have a resistance trend line setting up. We might be trying to test it. And look, where is it? 11,700. So it's perfectly possible for you to wait, see if we reject this line, and then just set up a short trade and see how far it will go. Okay, now on the other hand, it's also possible that we will be ranging here, slowly pushing our way down, testing this one, and punching our way back up. Let's have a look at the 12-hour chart and see which magic we can tell from there. Now here, as you can see, this on the RSI is not a local low. This is a local high, but this is not a local low. So see, on the macro, on the higher time frames, I don't like to look at these little lows and start thinking about divergences here, because it's more of, you know, a forming of the shape. The real lows are set here. Here. This is a real low. This is a real low. Even this, you know, you could argue about it, but if you look at the stochastics, you can tell that this actually was a turning of momentum. So this could be considered another local low. And how high is it sitting? 47.38, let's say 47.40, just to make it easy. Okay, so 47.40, and let's see what the magic numbers tell us there. Here we can see that the low would be guesstimated at about 10,900. And what is it? This is this volume node. So basically, this is my intuition. I think there is a stronger case for a little bit of a correction, a healthy correction actually, bouncing off of this area and then making its strong move back to the upside. Because think about it, people have been longing here. Maybe they were able to get out. Maybe they just saw on RSI that this is a continuation move. Maybe they even added up on their long position. They see the whole way up, and what do they see? They see that this high of the RSI on this here, wait, let me turn off volume profile because we don't need it anymore. This high here with this RSI high is actually making a divergence with this area here, because this is a lower high, yeah, and this is a higher high. This is a higher low compared to this one being a lower low. So pressure down. Then here on the 12-hour it's more nitpicking, but on the daily And on the daily, we're still not making a divergence with here, but this area is clear. On the 6 hour, let's have a look. On the 6 hours, oh, where are you? There we go. On the 6 hour, you see this high corresponds to this high here. This higher high actually made a lower high on the RSI, and this even higher high made also a lower high. So basically on the longer term, in my book, pressure is down. These bearish divergences here with this one can only be negated again if we break over the 12,000 area. This is not gonna be easy, not just in one straight shot. So yeah, I don't like to give financial advice, but if I have to make a conclusion, for me, this would be first a little bit of a breather, a correction to the downside. People want to close their positions here, take their profits, set up for the next trade, which is what I did. And then we just need to look for our new entry points, wait for confirmation, and then just ride it back to the other side. This is how you set up your trades. This is how you think about it, thinking 2-3 steps ahead of the game, and always try to think first, wait for your plan to start confirming your ideas, and then only then you can set up your trade and have peace of mind. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really like doing this. I would love to have more feedback, more comments, more everything. Talk to me while we're chatting, and yeah, throw me your ideas, throw me your questions. If you want to support my channel, if you want to support my efforts, I do have an affiliate link on Bybit. I love to work with Bybit. It's an amazing platform. It's an exchange. They only trade derivatives. Whether you want to trade inverse or straight perpetual, it is possible. So that means whether you have USDT in your account or you want to have Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever asset you're trading in your account, you can go from there. And you can trade Bitcoin at 100x leverage. You can trade Ethereum, EOS, XRP at 50x leverage. Of course, you know, like I said earlier in the chat, I don't do that. I don't go such high leverage. This is a little too rich for my diet. But by all means, you know, it would really help and support the channel. And then, you know, I wish you a very, very happy day. I wish you the best of the best. You fellow traders and friends are like a family for me that I really want to grow and see become happy and healthy. So stay safe, keep your trades safe, have a happy day. Bye bye. And I will click the button.